Henry, we rode this thing for 4 months all over the state, and I'll tell you what we got. We'll let you make up your own mind.
It's not my writing.
On June 4th, Paul Davis left Los Angeles in his car, headed up for Oakdale. Late in the afternoon, he stopped for gas at a service station just beyond San Fernando. The attendant says a man was with Davis. You fit that man's description, Henry.
Yeah? I've seen monks like that in court. They get on the stand, they can't even remember their name.
A couple others. You and Davis stopped for a hamburger just outside of Gorman. There's a man there. He remembers you, too. You stopped again in Bakersfield, picked up a quart of oil for the car. You and Davis had a Coke. That's the last time he was seen alive.
That makes me a killer, huh?
A month after that, the pink slip of Davis's car came through DMV up in Sacramento. That was for the transfer of ownership from Davis to Henry Carter, both in your handwriting. A couple of weeks later, Mrs. Davis got that letter. A month ago, Davis's car was sold to a dealer up in Lodi.
Yeah?
We found the dealer. Ross showed him your mugshot. He says you sold him the car.
That all?
No, that's just the main part. There's more. We've been on the road a lot. We followed you from here to Sacramento and back, Henry. Every stop, every detour. Took us a long time.
Yeah, guess it did.
What do you say, Ross?
Nothing.
All right. Any way you want it, Henry.
Yeah, I guess you worked hard on it, huh? All over the state.
That's right.
Must be pretty hot up in the valley. Summertime. Dusty, huh?
We made out.
And I never been up in the valley in summer. Too hot for me.
We got people who saw you up there.
You know, what's it prove? 10 people and some handwriting samples. You can't build a case on that. You know that, don't you?
We're gonna try.
You think I murdered Davis? You, Sergeant?
Yeah?
You think I murdered those other guys, too, huh? Oh, what was it, 10 or 12 of them?
We're asking about Davis.
You think I killed him? Well, tell me the truth, do you? You think I murdered Davis?
Yeah, I think you did, Henry.
Uh-huh. And you know as well as I do, there's only one way to prove it.
Yeah?
Find his body.
1:15 p.m. Ed and I took Henry Ross out and fed him some lunch. Then we took him back to the city hall to the interrogation room where we continued to question him. He was relaxed and he talked a great deal about everything but the disappearance of Paul Davis. He didn't seem anxious to get away. He made no demands for an attorney to represent him. He told us about different homicide cases that he'd read up on. He asked us about the 12 men who disappeared in the past months in the same manner Paul Davis had. Was there any trace of them at all? Did we have any leads? We finally got around to asking him if he'd submit to a lie detector test. He seemed taken by the idea and agreed to it almost immediately. We made up a list of key questions. Ed called Sergeant Berger and made arrangements for the test. At 5 p.m., we took the suspect to the 3rd floor of the old city jail where Sergeant Berger gave him the polygraph test. When it was over, we brought him back to the interrogation room. The questioning continued. Ross kept talking. We let him talk. 8 p.m. He was still going strong.
You remember the Wilson case back in 34, don't you, Sergeant? Woman killed her whole family. Big case. You remember it?
Yeah. Pretty tragic.
Not a hobby of yours, Henry? Collecting murder stories?
No, I just read them. I remember them. Guess I can remember every murder case in the past 15 years.
That's so.
Well, sure, just about all of them. I guess it's kind of a hobby. I get a big kick out of it.
Joe, see you, man?
Yeah.
Berger opened the polygraph room, just called.
What'd he say?
They found 16 positive reactions on Ross.
Thanks, Bates.
Right.
You know, there's one thing I get a real kick out of. These detective magazines, mystery stories, you know, the way they make out the murderer.
How do you mean?
Well, you know, they always build it into something big. Somebody's always killing somebody else for $1 million or maybe over some woman, some beautiful woman. Same with the movies. That's where they get it all mixed up.
I don't think I follow you, Henry.
Sure you do. Every time some guy writes a murder story, he's got to build up a big reason for the killing.
Well, it generally works out that way, doesn't it?
Why? I'll bet there's 1,000 murder cases in your files without a reason. Some people kill, that's all. I've heard about lots of them. Sure, they just want to kill and they go ahead and do it. Maybe for a few bucks, maybe for nothing. They just do it, that's all.
That's so.
Well, sure. You know that. Like this thing you've been talking about. 10, 12 guys disappear. They got a few bucks, maybe they got nothing. Somebody plows them under, that's all. No big reason, they just do it. So 12 guys are gone. Doesn't mean anything.
Is that how you figured it, Henry?
Huh?
Phone call a minute ago. That was from the man who gave you the lie detector test.
Oh, that right? How'd it go?
Well, he just finished going over your graph. He got 16 positive reactions.
Yeah? What would that mean?
You lied, Henry. 16 times.
Is that right? Yeah, but I told him to get a new machine. I lied all the way through.
Mind telling us why?
No, I don't mind. I guess I knew you'd find out. Well, let's go out and get something to eat first, huh? Hungry.
We better talk a little more, Henry.
Now, let's go. I'll tell you while we're eating. Bring a pencil and I'll draw you a map.
A map of what?
The canyon, where I buried him.